I hope you're doing well. My name is Rebecca. This is my group. If you have found your way here, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm a parenting and relationship coach, and I go live every week and I talk about um, everything about relationships and healing our relationships to self, to others, and becoming the best person we can be so that we don't pass on our trauma to our loved ones. So tonight we're going to be talking about mom guilt. Um, I have a lot of moms in this group, but the same thing is applicable for dads, but it's not the pressure often in our society and our culture is not as intense for dads as it is for moms. So I'm talking about mom guilt, but all of the principles that I'm talking about will be applicable to both moms and dads. So oftentimes guilt and shame comes from navigating cycles of doing quote quote the wrong thing and feeling bad about that, causing harm to somebody, and then noticing the harm that we're causing, feeling guilty about that, feeling powerless to do anything different, and then just apologizing and then repeating that cycle over and over again. And it can get to the point where it feels like your apologies are insincere because you know you're just going to keep making that same mistake again. That person knows that you're going to be navigating that same behavior again and that you're going to be apologizing again. So it can feel really terrible because even as you're apologizing, you know that you're going to be doing that same thing in a week or later that day. And so it can feel really awful to be making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And in that space, our brain is trying to make sense of why this keeps happening. I don't want it to happen, but it keeps happening. And our brain is trying to find an answer for this recurring pain that we are experiencing and that we are causing to others. And usually the way that our brain makes sense of that is it attaches that negative behavior to ourselves. Our brain attaches that behavior to our character, and we end up believing that that behavior pattern is part of who we are, part of our character, that there's something wrong with us, that there is something inherently bad about us, that we are flawed, that we are broken. And that is why we keep doing the same thing over and over again. And that provides some sort of relief for our brain because it explains why we keep engaging in that behavior. But what we're left with is deep shame about who we are. And when we are navigating deep shame about who we are less likely to be able to make changes. When we are less likely to be able to make changes, we tend to sink deeper into our negative coping mechanisms, and the cycle continues over and over and over. So we basically feel like we're not good enough because we see evidence all around us that we're not good enough. We feel bad about not being good enough. And so when we feel bad, we do bad. When we're doing bad, it makes us feel bad. And so we just get stuck making the same mistakes over and over and over. So that feels terrible. And often people are just terrible to themselves when they are harming others. So it's important to pay attention to the fact that you have shame about hurting someone, that you feel badly about that the harm that you are causing others impacts you, that you feel guilt about that. And actually, that guilt is helpful information, because if you didn't have that guilt, if you didn't feel bad about the harm you were causing, that would tell us more about your true nature than the fact that you do experience guilt. So the reason why we experience guilt is because we are offering people below what we know that they deserve. And so the fact that we know that they deserve it and that we're not offering it to them causes us to stress, points us to our true character, which is that we want to offer them what they deserve. So your guilt and the shame that you have around repeating that cycle over and over and over points you to your true north, which is that you want to be able to be the kind of person who offers the people in your life that matter most to you your best. Now, your ability to offer them that isn't correlated to your character, it is correlated to your skill level. So your ability to offer them what they deserve in relationships has to do with how deeply you've met yourself and how practiced you are at the different skills that you need to give them that. So if you are constantly stuck in the cycle of hurting people and feeling terrible about yourself and apologizing to them, hurting them, feeling terrible about yourself, apologizing to them, maybe you've given up on apologizing because you just believe this is who you are, I want to encourage you and tell you that this is not who you are. You wouldn't have guilt about how you're treating people if that was who you really wanted to be. If you have any guilt, if you have any sadness, if you have remorse about the pain that you're causing, that tells us that there's hope for you. That tells us that you care about being a better person. That tells us that you don't want to cause the harm that you're causing and that you need help building skills so that you can start treating people the way that they deserve to be treated. Now, there's a part of this that is that can feel really terrible, and this was brought up on the group session earlier today. There was a parent who was talking about this desire to hurt her kids when she was mad at them, and she was using words like, I become this person. I know I'm saying things that are going to hurt their feelings. I know I'm being cruel. And it's like, these words just keep flying out of my mouth and I become this person. I don't want to be this way. She said these statements that prove that she believes that this is permanent about who she is and that she has no control to shift the outcome. And I want to talk about that piece where we're hurting someone and we get relief when we hurt someone. There is this part of us that feels vindicated. There's this part of us that feels good when we emotionally punish someone or when we make someone feel bad. And oftentimes people feel a lot of guilt for that. And oftentimes people look into themselves and think, there must be something wrong with me because only a terrible person would feel good about hurting someone. And that's just not true. We are hurt, and it is true that hurt people, but healed people heal people. And on this journey, we're working on healing ourselves. We're working on figuring out and exploring without shame that part of us that feels good when we offer emotional punishment to someone, that feels good when we shut off to them and don't meet their needs, when we withdraw, knowing that will hurt them. There's so many different ways that we offer punishment to the ones that we love. And oftentimes, if you grew up in a house where, really shaming, emotional punishment, shaming was used a lot, or, vicious words were used, or emotional withdrawal, or lack of physical affection, stonewalling, whatever it was, the cold shoulder. If you grew up in a family where that was how you regained your power in a given situation, in the given family unit, then of course that's what you're going to reach for when you are feeling sad or when you feel like you're not being listened to. And we do what we know. So when we are engaging in those harmful patterns that we see are harming our loved ones, it's our job to just notice that and figure out, okay, what's my next stage of healing? And if you are here watching this video, this is it. This is it. You stay here, you stay engaged, and you ask for more resources, and you get plugged in, and you work on, getting plugged into one of the coaching programs that I offer. I offer private coaching and group coaching and hybrid, where you get a little bit of private and a little bit of group. I even have my online curriculum so that families who want to do it on their own can work on the skills on their own. But most families benefit from some element of coaching because you've had so many years of training, essentially, with dysfunctional communication. You've had so many years where you were taught that this is the way that we navigate conflict, or you were taught to withdraw, or you were taught to do so many of these different things. And you didn't have someone showing you, hey, you know, it's safe to explore this part of you that that gets something out of hurting people. It's safe to explore this part of you that needs to withdraw. It's safe to explore this part of you, and here's how we do it. And here's the next step in our journey of healing. So what that cycle means, if you are stuck in the cycle of hurting people and feeling bad about it, what it means is you're stuck in stage 2. You're stuck in stage 2 of a skill, which means you are aware that you're causing harm, but you are unskilled at being able to do anything different. The next stage that we would want to get you to would be aware and skilled, and eventually to unaware and skilled, which would be proficiency. So if you want to get to stage 3, let me know. Put stage 3 in the comments if you want to get to stage 3. If you want to get to aware and skilled, and that means you know that the harm you're causing, and then you can do something about it, you can do something different and pass on healing to your kids or to your partner, whoever you're in this group to improve your relationship with. Put stage 3 in the comments, and I will make sure that Christina or myself reaches out to you and gets you some more resources to get you to that next step. I think I'm going to leave it. I'll check the comments real quick to see if there are any questions. Sometimes there's a lag and I don't see comments as they come in. I can only see them after I've logged off. But if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I will get back to them as soon as I can. Sometimes please be patient with me, because sometimes there are more comments than my brain is ready to respond to in a given week. So I will respond to your comments. I promise I will get back to them, but how often I can do that, depends on the week. So put your questions in the comments, but if you want to learn more about what your next step is, put stage 3 in the comments and we will make sure that we get back to you. That's why I have Christina, so that she can reach out to the comments that to the people and respond to the comments that I miss. So as always, be gentle with yourself. I am proud of you. You showed up this week, and that is beautiful. You showed up. And so that's what matters. Keep showing up here, keep showing up for yourself. You can do this. Healing is available for you. I've done it myself. I'm in the process. Everybody is in the process of healing, right? And my job is to just be a couple steps ahead of you so I can talk to you about what I'm learning in this current stage. This is an incredible journey. It's a difficult one, but it's so worth it. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for showing up. And I will see you soon. Okay, take care.